Big hugs, everyone, and welcome to Pass the Mic. This past week, we celebrated MLK Day. And what a fabulous and wonderful holiday for us to once again come together and remember what the dream is, what the vision is that each of us is participating in. So I want to take this time and share with you what I experienced on MLK Day in Ojai. Working with the Youth Foundation, they volunteer to keep this beautiful celebration of the idea, of the vision, alive. Leave your comments below how Martin Luther King, how the vision of what Martin Luther King, or how the vision of racism and prejudice is affecting your life. I know that it's time. It's time for us to come together as a people and recognize that no longer is racism something out there. It's not out there. It's in here. And we have to take full ownership. So leave your comments below. Let me know your thoughts. And I want to thank you for joining me on Pass the Mic.
Thank you. Wow. Big hugs, everyone. Welcome to MLK Day. And to these amazing young people that have made a decision that they're going to carry on the vision and the idea that Martin Luther King set before us. And that's one of the most beautiful things about this day. It's not that we're celebrating a man. That's great. But we're celebrating the idea. We're celebrating a vision that each of us can participate in. And like any idea, it goes through many different channels and roads. There are challenges and mountains and peaks and valleys and hills. And so we find ourselves in this place now where this idea has expanded beyond something outside of us. See, the equality that we are all wanting isn't in a place, in a location. It's within our minds. Within each and every one of us, within our minds, we must find that place of equality. Because once we realize that there is no separation, that our individuality does not have to separate us from the divine uniqueness and spiritual beings that we are, we don't have to be in fear of each other anymore. Yes, I believe that. I believe that we can co-create together in a way that allows each of us to express our own divinity. The beautiful thing that Martin Luther King was opening up the world to, it wasn't that it was for black people and against white people, or for this person and against that. He stood for all humanity. He said, we will overcome. And it is now the time for us to let go of the overcome and step into the awareness that within you make the difference. We don't need to wait for someone else. Sometimes that gets in our way because we think that if this person hasn't changed or this organization hasn't changed, then there is no change. But change truly comes from you. And that is the only thing that we have complete control of, is what we think and feel. And when you change your world, don't you know the whole world has changed just for you? We must start to believe that there is a greater essence of who we are and that we are that power. We are the power that Martin Luther King talked about. We are the essence of that magnificence. When he talked about, he may not get there with us. But see, when a dream is dropped, it's like a seed. It never vanishes. It continues to grow and expand. And so we have an opportunity in this time and day to step into a brand new place. To recognize that racism and prejudice and bias is alive because it is alive in us. And we must start to be accountable for what we are putting back out here into the world. If you are in fear of others, if you think that there is something wrong with somebody else, if there is bias within you, then you are contributing to what we have in this world. And all of us. Because I have my stories. We all have our stories, our justification. Because it always feels good to be right? But at some point, we must leave rightness behind and step into the love that is truly who and what we are. For we all are love. We all are magnificent, and each and every one of us are here to give our gift. You don't have to give my gift. Give your gift. Give the light that you are to this world. And as a whole, when we understand that as you give your gift, it does not take away from what I do or where I live. I don't have to take control over you in order for me to live in peace, in harmony, in joy. That's my responsibility. Every day we wake up with that beautiful responsibility to live in a space within our own mind, within our own hearts. And what's so beautiful is that we see it in our kids before we teach them not to. They fall out just as quick as they fall back in love. But we hold things forever. We take one incident and we say an entire race is that. Our fear of how someone else is living controls our own beingness. We must let go of that. So as you celebrate Martin Luther King today, recognize that we truly are celebrating an idea. We're celebrating a vision. And the vision started in one place, as visions do. And we have grown. We've come a long way. And I don't think the road is that much farther. But I do think it does require persistence and commitment. And the commitment is to yourself. What are you committed to? What are you willing to let go of in order to embrace into? Because no matter what your race, creed, or color, no matter what size you are, no matter if you walk on 2 legs, 1 leg, no legs, no matter if you have 1 arm, 2 fingers, I don't know, whatever. We all are divine and magnificent here giving a beautiful gift. And when we can recognize that the person that I see that doesn't look like me is here to give just as I am here to give, there is no fear in that. There is no challenge in that. There is no anger or fighting in that. Because in love, and I love nature because it shows us all the time. You can have 5 trees lined up together. They're not fighting with one another. They're all just enjoying the bliss of the magnificence of life. And we too can do that. But it does require a new way of thinking. It requires a new way of looking at your life. Not the people that you think are doing wrong with their life, let them be. The news will tell us constantly that things are going to the pit, that things are in the slump, they're in the dog, everything is going down, we're going backwards. But understand, in chaos comes the beauty, because things are being shaken up. People are being called out. You're being awakened, and some of you don't want to wake up. Some of us want to stay asleep, and I get it. But for those who want to wake up, can I get a hey, hey? Hey, hey. Because you wake up at the level where you wake up. You don't have to wake up where I am. And I don't have to wake up where you are. Know that wherever you choose to wake up at, you are in a place that you will give what you have to give to this world, that will move us forward, that will keep us moving to the higher mountaintop that Martin Luther King talked about, that we all will get there one day. You see, it's not necessarily that we all have to get there collectively, but when you get there in your consciousness, ooh, don't you ring your own bell. People see you and they see the light of love that's just shining through you, and they want to know, what are you doing? How do you feel so good about the world, about this world that we live in? Because you're living on the mountaintop. And see, when you live on the mountaintop, you can see from far and far away. You can see things that you can't see down in the valley. Because in the valley, you're blocked by all of your doubt, fear, anger, frustration, prejudice, racism, bias. In the valley, that blocks you. But when you shift just a little bit and you get up on the mountaintop, you're like the sun. The sun rises every day. Even when we had all the rain pouring down, don't you know the sun was shining somewhere? It rose that day. This world turns. So see, we are here, and each of us, I believe, have said yes to this moment, to this time, to this day, to be here for now. For this beautiful transformation that's taking place in our world. Our kids are birthing into the awareness that they have the power to do and to be all that they can. And they're understanding that through technology, I know some of us don't like it, that we say it's keeping us separate, but we just need to learn how to utilize it, because it is beneficial. It's helping in so many ways. So as we are looking at our youth, this Ojai youth, these young kids right here that have said yes to a vision that we've been keeping alive, and some of us have gone to sleep on, and some of us think that I'll never see it. But I believe that you can see it in your own heart and spirit. If we take it out of the world and put it back into our hearts, back into the true place where you have power and control. See, you can every day choose to get up and recognize the beauty that's all around you. You have that option every day. It's available to you. To hear the laughter of a child that's just having fun because somebody fell and she was like, hey, that's funny to me. To see a pet that's loving someone, sharing that love. We have the opportunity every day. So my challenge for you today is, as you go off and continue to celebrate the MLK Day, not the man, but the idea. The idea that is within you, that love is greater than anything that we could ever come up against. Love is always there and available, but we just have to be willing to want to look at love and not at the dysfunction. It's easy to look at trouble and say, ooh, I don't know how things are going to get better. Well, I will say this, if you keep looking at trouble, all you're going to see is more trouble, and every day you will experience that trouble. So to discipline yourself, if you can turn away and look at something and someone that feels fills your spirit with joy. I think joy is one of the most powerful emotions in this world. Joy can take you from a space of feeling like a victim to feeling that you are on the top of the mountain. Joy can move you in a way that allows you to recognize that there are so many things that are working for you and so few that are working against you. Joy is such a power that it is always here. And the beautiful, most magnificent thing, you don't have to get it from anybody. You have it within yourself. You have that within you. And if you've forgotten that the joy is within you, take a moment and look at a rose. Everything that rose needs, it's already in it. Its fragrance, its color, the stems. So you too have everything within you. Martin Luther King knew that we had everything we needed within us. We just needed to connect with it. And we have to connect with it on a daily basis. Can't do it a little bit now and don't do it a little bit then. You see, when the opportunity comes, when someone rises up and says to you, "Get the out of my way," where will you be? And I do know that we can do it because I've had those moments and I was able to step back and say, I have an opportunity here to send love or to react. It's so easy to react. See, the idea that Martin Luther King talked about was not about reacting. He talked about creating something that no one knew. On these beautiful posters out here, one of the schools, they signed, all of them are Martin Luther King, but one of the schools signed Martian Luther King. And they were like, "Oh no, we got to change it." I was like, no. Understand that Martin Luther King was out of this world. He was not in this world, baby. He talked about something that people looked at him and said, "What? That's impossible." But it was not. Because when you believe that there's something greater than what you see, when you believe and tap into that energy and power that is within you that's pumping your heart right now, there's nothing that you cannot do. And there's nothing that we cannot do as a country. So I challenge you today to find your idea, to nurture that idea, to remember the power of love, to embrace joy. No matter where you are in your life, you can find some joy because it is available. Nobody, you don't have to buy it from anybody. You don't have to rent it. It's yours. Are you willing to step into joy? You're thinking about it? Maybe. Well, let me just say this. If joy is too much, maybe just get to it's all right. You know what? Right now, it's just all right. And from all right, you know what? Maybe I can move into things are getting better. Things are getting better. If you stay focused on what's not working, it will bring you down. And the only thing that I can say about that is that that requires a discipline not to give all of your attention to that. If you give all of your attention to the news, the politics, your bank account, your relationship, your health, and I know sometimes those things, they're very present, but I know the resilience of each and every one of you. You are created. You are magnificent. And within you, there are beautiful seeds that you are here to plant, to share with us, to help this world expand to the greater greatness that it is, to get to the mountaintop that Martin Luther King talked about. And I know together we can. I'd like to bring this local, an incredible musician up, David Grossbury. I'm sure some of you know him. And as we anchor this divine idea, we anchor this moment, We anchor the truth and the possibility of what we can be here, do now. That this day is so much more than what happened in the past. This day is an idea that is continuously unfolding, and we are a part of that idea. We're not separate from it. We are it. We are the very idea itself. And so together we can do anything. And if you don't mind sitting next to your neighbor, just grab their hand. So we recognize that even though we may live in different places, we may come from different lands, we all here together, y'all. And without each and every one of us, we would not be the same. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above blue skies. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. Everything to imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say that I'm a dreamer, oh yeah, but I'm not the only one. I know someday you'll join us, and we'll be as Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No greed or hunger. We are brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people living on in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, and I'm not the only one. I know someday that you'll join us. Join hands, join hands, join hands, join hands. Everybody join hands, join hands, join hands, join hands, join hands, join hands. Understand, there was a dream that was given.
for joining me on Pass the Mic and celebrating MLK. Remember, it's more than a day. It's a life. It's a vision. We are one. We hold a vision. Just you and me. Just you and you and you and you and me. I look forward to seeing you next week on Pass the Mic, and keep your dreams, your vision alive, because we all matter. I'll see you next week.